everyone, I hope you're all okay. As you can see, and from the title of the video, that my hair... Can you hear that rain outside? It's like a storm outside, so that's what the noise is. As you can see from the title of the video, I've got new hair. A lot of you had seen this on Instagram, and it hasn't been in a video actually. I was going to say in a video, but it's not been in a video yet. So I've been getting a lot of questions about it. Whoa! I feel like I'm in the Wizard of Oz. So I've been getting a lot of questions about it, and I thought I would show you in a video. So I got a weave. I've always wanted a weave. Always wanted a weave and never got one. I was always too scared to get one because people kept telling me horror stories and they're like, don't get a weave, you'll regret it, like it'll drive you crazy, you won't like it. So it had always been put off. And also I've always wanted to dip dye my hair, which you guys know if you've been watching my channel, because a few months back, well quite a long time ago now, I had a disastrous dip dye that I did. It's my own fault. I can hold my hands up, did it myself, damaged all my hair, and I ended up having to get it cut off to about here, which was really traumatising at the time, you know, first world problems. I didn't want to ruin my hair again, and I definitely didn't want to bleach it again, so I thought that extensions or a weave with dip dye extensions would be a good way to do it, so that's what I did. So this is what the hair looks like. I'll explain in a second how the extensions are done and how I had them done and where and how much and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, my own hair comes to about here. So when it's pulled down, it comes to here. So the extensions are not that much longer than my own hair, which isn't what I wanted. I cut them myself and like styled them all and stuff like that. I didn't want crazy hair like down to my hips or anything. Because I don't think when you've got short layers that looks very natural unless you have a lot of extensions in. And the problem with my hair is that it's quite thick, so on top of the extensions, like my hair it just doesn't look real. I don't like the way it flows, so I knew I only wanted half a head of extensions, and obviously the most natural look if you've only got half a head of extensions is to have it sort of a little bit shorter than most people would have extensions. So I'm really happy with it. The extensions themselves are dip dyed, so if I take a strand of the extensions, you can see that it's gradually going into like an ombre effect. It's not to everyone's taste. I know some people don't like it, that's fine, it's on my head. Some people think that, you know, the whole ombre dip dye hair thing is like so done and, you know, it's not in fashion. I don't care, like, I didn't do it to be in fashion, I did it because I like the way it looks. It doesn't matter to me when I do it or whether it's in fashion or anything like that, because I just like it. And I'm sure I'll go off it and I'll want to dye my hair all the same colour again, and that's fine because this is just all extensions. First of all, what is a weave? A lot of people were I was quite surprised that a lot of people didn't know what a weave was, so I will just explain. Usually a weave refers to something that's sewn into your hair, so something that isn't clipping, gluing, extensions. It's usually something, it's like woven into your hair, like it's sewn into your own hair. And the normal method of having a weave, which is what I think most people think of when they hear the word weave, is having your hair braided into tracks. So your own hair is braided up and the extensions are then sewn onto those tracks. So that is the traditional weave, like that's what people think of when you say weave, and that's a braided weave. I didn't have that technique for a couple of different reasons. First of all, the girl that did my hair recommended a different technique, and she said that that's how she does her own hair and that's what she prefers, and I went with her opinion. There are other reasons why I think this kind of particular style is better for me. First of all, now I'm not saying this is true of everyone that has a weave. A lot of the horror stories that I'd heard about weaves are that they're really itchy. I like to wash my hair like usually every day, and I really love to really scrub my scalp. Obviously when your hair is braided you can't do that, you can't get to the root, so you see a lot of people doing like the weave tap and doing this because they get itchy heads and you can't actually itch your head. That would drive me crazy, but I was still contemplating having that done. Another thing that people were saying is that because the hair is braided up you can't wash it properly. And I'm not saying that this is true of everyone that has weaves, because if you dry it properly then you don't have this problem, but you can get a weird like kind of mildew smell. You know, if you wash like some clothes or something and you put them in a ball and put them in a corner, they'll smell kind of funky because they've not been aired and they've not dried properly. And the same thing happens to hair when it's in tracks, is that if you wash the hair, because it takes so long to dry because it's braided up tightly, it can kind of smell a bit funky. So you can dry it, you know, dry the track with a hairdryer, but unless you dry it thoroughly, like within an hour or so, then it can start to have a funky smell, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to wash my hair. But like I said, the main reason I got this done is because the stylist recommended it. I actually have a little bead, so it's a beaded weave. My own hair is flowing with this. None of my hair is braided up. I have 4 tracks in my hair, and the tracks are made of little beads, and they're kind of the same beads that you would attach feather extensions with. So the ones that you slide up your hair and flatten with a tool, and then when they're flattened they stay tight to your hair, and then the extension weft, so like the set of hair is sewn onto it. Now I'll link to a video below that actually shows someone doing it, so you can get the picture, because I know it's hard to imagine, but I'll link that video below. I found a really good video that kind of shows a demo of it. It'd be called micro ring weave or micro ring sewing. It can be called flat track sewing, and it can also be called a beaded sewing or a beaded weave. So it's called a few different things, but basically they're little rings and they're just attached in a line, and then the hair is sewn onto it. What I like about that is the fact that there is a gap big enough. I'd say it's probably about this big, so there's a gap that's big enough for me to get my finger in between each track and shampoo it absolutely fine. I've been blow drying my hair, just blasting it with the blow dryer, all my hair and the extensions, making sure it's all completely dry, and then when it's all completely dry I just separate it into sections and curl it like I'd normally curl my own hair, and that's how I've been styling it. It's been really quite easy. You can get this done in salons, but it is a lot more pricey than like what I did. What I did is I went onto Gumtree and I found a girl in the Manchester area that did sewing weaves, and she is like a mobile hairdresser, so she will come to your house, but I actually went to her house just because it was easier for me. Her name's Chelsie, so hi Chelsie if you're watching this, because I told her what I did on YouTube and I asked her if it was okay for me to put a number in the description, because her number was on Gumtree, so I like texted her because I was on holiday at the time, and just made arrangements to have it done with her. Bought my own hair, and I bought the hair from Paul's Hair World in Manchester, where I've been going for years, and I will link that below. I did dye it to get the colour that I wanted. I dyed the top bit darker. I would recommend doing that rather than dyeing brown hair ombre. If you wanted to have ombre extensions, I'd recommend buying lighter extensions and then putting some darker dye on the top, just because if you buy brown extensions you're going to ruin them by bleaching the ends, and you don't want to be putting damaged hair, because you know they do go ratty after a while. You need to take care of them, and you don't want to be putting them damaged into your hair straight away. So I'd recommend dyeing the top bit darker. I did that just to get the colour that I really wanted, and then I took them around to Chelsea's house and she sewed them in for me. So for 4 wefts she charged me £35, which I think is really good and really competitive. In a salon they usually charge anything upwards of £20 per row, and then I got the hair was on sale as well, so I got this done really cheaply, which was really good. I didn't buy the best quality hair just because I wanted to see if this was for me, if I liked it. I'm really happy with it though, and I've already told Chelsie that I want her to do my hair when I come up north visiting my family, because I'll make an appointment with her whenever I know I'm going to be visiting, because I'm really happy with it. It wasn't painful. It was a little bit uncomfortable when she was doing it, but nothing painful. But it was painful for about 3 nights to put my head on my pillow. Not when I was just walking around, it just feels kind of tight. It's just uncomfortable, not really pain, I guess. But yeah, I think this will last about a month, and then I can get it tightened for another month, which costs around £10–15 depending on where you go. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I thought I would just answer some of your questions. If you've got any, then leave them below. I'll put Chelsea's details in the video information, because if you do live in the Manchester area and you think that's a good price and you want to go to her, then I'll leave the links below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you guys soon with another video. Bye!